So on Thursdays on ABC Now, everyone can tune in to see you star in the all-new ABC series Rebel. Tell me a little bit about the series and what we can expect this season.
So Rebel is a TV show based loosely on the life and activism of Aaron Brockovich, but also it very much is this new character that explores the messy family dynamic that she has, and you can expect a lot of family drama this season.
Absolutely. Sounds really interesting. I want to talk about your character. Tell me a little bit about Ziggy and who she is.
So Ziggy is Rebel's youngest daughter. She is the adopted daughter of the group, and she, at the start of the season, is 72 days clean. So a lot of what she's going through is following her recovery and making sure she stays on track and figuring out what she wants to do with herself and her life. And she comes to some interesting conclusions.
Absolutely. I feel like that open conversation about addiction is really, really important. So I think that's an incredibly important character. Now, you talked about how Ziggy, and this is a direct quote from you, strays from a lot of older, like angsty teen tropes of networks days past. How do you think the depth of that is going to resonate with teens nowadays who watch, and how do you want it to resonate?
Um, Well, it's really interesting because I think the lens of the show is very much from the perspective of the adults, even just in how it like who's writing it, which I think is always the case, but it's not really pretending it's not. It's adults writing a teenager, but it's adults with so much empathy, like imbuing all of their personal experience into Ziggy. So it's like Ziggy very much holds her own while also being, having the downfalls of being a teenager, to look at it without judgment, but to portray it like teenagers are imperfect. I was a very imperfect teenager. So I think it's those nuances that it can explore without glamorizing it. It's still looking at it from the perspective of people who have learned and know better, but also with total empathy and no judgment. Yeah.
I love that perspective. You also talked about her arc, and you talked about two things with that. You said that it's about channeling it productively and also being there for the fight. How would you say that we could be there for our own fight in our own society? What does being there for the fight mean to you?
Ooh, good question. I mean, I think it's like a great starting point is social media, in just like receiving and seeking out information. But ultimately, I think the best way to show up is finding out what organizations are operating around you, what is happening in your neighborhood to the people closest to you, and how you can get involved in direct action. I think is like the most productive way forward for all of us.
I think so too. I really love that. What's your favorite thing about Rebel and just being a part of the series?
I love the cast and the crew. It's like the people on set every day make it so fun. I just did a scene yesterday with Katie and John and Tamala and Jalen, who plays Sean, and it was just such a blast with our director Adam Arkin. Just like it was so fun. We were cracking up in between every single take, and then like everyone giving it their all the second we said action, and I was just sitting there so appreciative of the people that I get to work with.
That is the sweetest thing ever. That's so cute. What was the contrast like switching from a more fantasy-based role to this incredibly real world, like heavy story?
I'd say the most immediate, like practical difference is the scenes that we're shooting are less technically involved and more like dialogue driven. It's very dialogue heavy, which Runaways was in its own way, but it was also like, and then you pause for this special effect and this fight sequence, and we should spend 3 days shooting a fight sequence, which was fun and exciting uh in that right. And then now every single scene that we're doing is so heady and involved and present in that way. So that's like a challenge and also exciting and really fun.
That sounds really incredible. What was your process like in preparation for this role?
For this one, it was a lot of just figuring out where she would be in her recovery, like what that chemically, like literally would be doing to a person. And then, getting personal testimonials from people in my life that were extremely helpful. And then using all of that to spin it into a more subjective character spin.
I can totally see that. And I feel like that definitely resonates on the screen, that research that you did and that background, especially from real people, which I think is so cool. Now, if you think viewers could learn one thing from Rebel or one thing from Ziggy, just in general, what would you want that to be?
Um, that above all else, it's all about fighting the good fight and taking care of the people around you and yourself. It's about the community, and just, yeah, looking out for people. I think that's the thing I really like about Rebel's activism is that at the end of the day, it's about taking care of the people around her, no matter how personally she knows them.
That's another really good point. Like even, your neighbors, people that you don't directly know. Now, you are someone who is incredibly open about their activism and does an incredible job of showing up and being there. What advice would you have for those who want to do that, want to be more socially active, but just don't really know where to start?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would say it's like, social media, great place to start. It's how you can find out about, what's going on in your area, following people in your area, and then showing up to the meetings. I know one thing I did was like when there were a lot of climate uh, protests happening around like new pipelines being built, showing up to those, meeting the organizers, getting information, signing up for email lists directly from those organizers, and then showing up to meetings that they held was a great way to get involved.
That's incredible. What change do you want to see, as this next generation rolls out? What change do you want to see in the world within these next 10 years or so?
Uh, oh, everything.
All of it.
Everything has to change. This is unsustainable, what we have right now.
I would agree.
Yeah. I don't know how else to put it. We have what, 9 years before climate change is irreversible at best. Start there. I don't know. Is that a not positive answer?
It doesn't have to be positive at all.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
just,
have a lot of faith in the younger generation. I also feel like every generation is kind of opening their eyes to it right now. Even my parents, who were like total hippies growing up, have always really been progressive or like opening their eyes to the way our whole system needs to be restructured. And I think that's really inspiring. I think there can really be rebuilding something from the ground up to serve more people more productively.
I think so too. And I think people like you are the biggest stepping stone to that. So you should be incredibly proud of everything you've done already at such a young age. It's just so awesome. What was it like to work with Katie and the rest of the cast?
Oh, Katie is amazing. She's like, the thing that I love about watching her is in between takes, she's just so herself as Rebel that in between takes, it's like such a seamless transition into her living and her acting. It's just like effortless to watch her, and that is something that I really aspire to achieve. Uh, and it's always just so genuine. She can like flip the switch and you didn't even notice it because it's so natural. Um, John is just funny, like the funniest person. Like makes set so fun every day. Andy takes it so seriously. It's like his dedication. I could watch him all day. Just like he will do it until the scene is good. Like he makes sure he has gotten the performance that he is happy with, and then we can move on. And it's like a big I don't even know how to put it because it's just like fun for everyone. Like you're just like watching him do everything he could do, and you just know it's gonna look great when you're with him. Lex and Kevin, who play my siblings, they've become like good friends of mine. They're just like great people, very talented. Sam as well. Tamala, just the best, like amazing person. Like they're all the best. I just have endless compliments. I could like go down the list. Yeah.
That is so sweet to hear. I love hearing stuff like that. Now, you've been very busy lately. We recently just saw you in the Hulu feature film, The Ultimate Playlist of Noise. This was such a great film. I loved it. Tell me a little bit about your experience working on that and what that film is like.
Um, that was fun. I'm still friends with a lot of the people from that because it was just like a good, like chill vibes there. Very, very good time. I really like those people. It was also the coldest I've ever been in my life. We were like up in Syracuse, just freezing. It wasn't supposed to be a movie, but it was just so blanketed in snow that it became a winter movie. And props to the filmmakers for making that completely work. They had to think very on their feet. It was literally like mid-scene we were shooting, it started snowing. They were like, I guess this is a snow movie now. So I think it came out really great. They were throwing a lot of curveballs that they really nailed. Yeah.
I think we can all take a page out of that book, just like adapt and grow with all that stuff.
Totally.
What's up next for you? What can we expect from you in the future? What are you working on?
Still shooting Rebel, which is really funny whenever I'm doing these interviews and people ask me like what the arc is. You're the closest I've been to actually being able to give an arc, because in the last interviews I was like shooting episode 5 and I was like, I don't know what happens.
Well, I'm very honored about that.
Yeah. Now we're on 9 and I kind of know what happens now, which is exciting. So we're almost done with the season, and then I'm personally, I've been really preoccupied with creating my own stuff. Of course, also like meeting new people, collaborating with new people. But yeah, lot of writing happening right now, things in development.
That's so exciting. I'm so excited to see all the things you write. I know they're going to be absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Have a great rest of your day. Bye.